Hello everyone. We thank you for this opportunity to show our short film that is in the making. These are my partners Jack and Cathal, and we will show the pre-production and the production of this project. The synopsis. When a little boy, Dogs, goes missing, a strange creature with glowing eyes finds his next feast. It takes this opportunity to its advantage to lure the child towards his terrible death. In this creepy short film, see how the boy tries to survive this horrible creature. We see Irish legend of the puka come to life and claim his victim. The synopsis that we created described our story the best. We wanted the story to be scary and interesting to watch all the way through. Target market. The main focus was finding who will be the fans of watching the film, so we decided it should be focused towards teenagers. Primary audience is 15 plus, and secondary audience are adults. The location we found was not too far away from the college, and it had everything that we needed to make our planning become real. Age range. We used BBFC, which stands for British Board of Film Classification. We chose them because of the experience they had, which was over 100 years, which helps everyone in the UK choose age-appropriate films, videos and websites. We selected 15 because it includes violence, threat and horror, but does not include drug use, discrimination or imitable behaviour. That's why we chose 15 plus.
The genre for our short film is a horror mystery based on the Irish Celtic folklore of the puka. We wanted this as we feel it's a good way to show the story of the puka, who's a monster who takes children from their homes on the street and kills them. In our film we use many techniques like sound and dark graphics to portray dark themes and the horror genre. Releasing our film to the public is a simple part of the overall process. We simply need to put it onto sites like YouTube and Vimeo, and then market it across our own personal social media like Facebook and Twitter. This gets it to an overall wide audience and lets it become known to the world. It's also a good way to show off the Irish folklore to parts that might not know about it. Our group, the Three Amigos, has 3 members, hence the name. During filming, me and Nojus were the actors who played the boy and the puka, while Cathal was the filmer/director. Once we had filmed all of our scenes, we then came back to the classroom and split the editing between the 3 of us. This comes with adding in sound, creating visual effects, and overall just editing the piece together. We were great as a team and helped each other with any problems that we may come across.
At the beginning of our project, we looked at many different horror movies, the ones that we loved and the ones that worked with them. We wanted to really include the audience and create a sense of mystery within our movie. We needed a formula that already worked and really captured the horror side to a character. No one has ever seen the puka before or heard of it, so we thought we could add our own twist and make it better than what we could. Looking at the success of the 2017 hit film It and the Conjuring franchise, we could take on some great information and look at their formulas, what works in depth and tone. Concept art was certainly an ideal factor in our process. It was an overall group decision on how the final outcomes of our characters would come out. Using our research reports, mood boards and looking at the Irish legend folklore of the puka, we were able to take on a rough idea of what the formula would take and what our characters would eventually look like. On the board you can see the first takes on the dog and the puka in traditional concept art methods using just simple pen and paper, and then we use Photoshop and notepads to create them digitally, and we can add in different colours and effects to the digital ones.
In our film we have made some props and costumes to help with the effects in our film. Using the paper mache, we created horns for our puka. We seen these in the images of folklore online, so we wanted to be able to make these ourselves. We also bought a ghillie suit online, which helps with the overall shaggy feel of the puka. We also bought some fake blood for when the boy gets captured and injured, and chains to wrap around the puka for his main form of attack.
Storyboards, much like concept art, is extremely important in the pre-production process. The storyboards are essentially a comic format of our movie, and after And after creating the plot between the group, we were able to bring the concept art and storyboard on paper to life. We begin the next process. The storyboards keep us on track when filming and allow us to view all possible angles and shots when filming, and it is the best method of filming in the production process. Here is the digital storyboards, and it's shortened down to suit these best. It is in comic format, and you can see in each box there's slight descriptions of each scene. So the descriptions contain what will happen in that scene, the length of the scene, and the angles and shots we can get with the cameras on the characters. In this section we can see that it's the beginning, so the camera pans on in the first box, a pole with a small note on it. We then follow the boy, who we realise is our main character, with missing dog posters, and it gives you an indication that he's looking for his dog. He follows through the neighbourhood before eventually coming to a house that he hasn't seen before, and something leads him in to follow this.
So the character sees the house and the camera zooms into the house and the character goes into it, and then he's trying to look for his dog inside the house, but he can't find it, and he sees a window in the house and he goes and thinks that the dog's going to go through the window, so he goes through the window and the puka is behind him when he goes through the window, and it's just the puka is like a jump scare, so it's behind him. And then once he goes outside, the character follows a trail which he sees the dog walking. He continues walking forward and he sees his dog stop moving, and when he gets a closer look at his dog, and his eyes turn into like gold, and then he instantly transforms into the puka, and we just get a puka reveal when he stares at the character.
The camera then cuts away as the boy starts to sprint away from the puka, terrified of what has just happened, but the puka drops his chain and then sends it towards the boy, knocking him down and out. The boy wakes up to find the puka standing in front of him, pulling his chain with it wrapped around the boy's legs, and he begins to get dragged down towards the river. When he gets into the river, the camera pans around and they start fighting in the river as the puka overpowers him completely and starts to play with him, pulling him underwater, choking him, before lifting him up and squeezing his body, then throwing him away as the boy gets enveloped in fire and begins to disintegrate. Here is the demo of our intro and outro credit scene that we'd be using. We want to have some drone shots of the river where the main focus will be taking place, kind of foreshadowing what will be happening later in the movie, with our title going across, and then the credits just showing our different roles that we had in the film. In our film, special effects were an important part for us, as it was a way to show off like what way high budget films do things. We wanted to use as best effects as we could find as possible and have it as if it was a normal high budget film, even though we were such a small group. Here are some of the effects that we've made. This first effect is one of the puka's main forms of transport. He distorts himself and travels a short distance. We use this effect to emphasize how much power the puka really has, along with some jump scares at the appropriate times. This effect was done by cutting out the character and shrinking him down while overlapping the scene without him there, eventually causing him to disappear. We then added this little dust effect to show how powerful this is. The next effect here is the transition where the dog goes through to turn into the puka. We have added the lightning strike for the dog, which signifies what happens. This is done simply by putting the two clips together and then having the lightning strike as it happens, hiding what really is happening, which is just the two scenes cutting. This last effect is for when the puka kills the boy. The puka is lifted up and thrown and squeezed and thrown away, and a fiery glow envelops the boy and turning him to dust and bones. This effect is one of the more complicated ones in our film, and you can see that you can actually see the skeleton on the boy as he disappears. This is just our work in progress one, and in the future there will be more flames and embers surrounding the character while he turns to dust.
the production of our film, we have some small photos that we took when we were in the river. These include the death scene of the boy, which has no effect, but are being added to the after effects. The next shot is of Jack underwater. We used a GoPro, my own GoPro, to follow Jack as he's plunged underwater and come back up. No one was hurt in the making of this process. And there's some shots of just talking through the production stage and looking at different storyboards that we already had, and to get the same shots stuff.
Now if you have any questions, we'd be happy to take them.
I'm good. Would you see sound as an important fact in your movie?
Yeah.
So do you want to elaborate more on that?
So during any like jump scares that might happen when the puka is revealed, there will be loud sounds, and there will also be creepy like voices going when he's going throughout the house.
We've also been researching different music for that could go in when the character's walking, or when the puka is about, or the dog, each individual sound for themselves.
And what method are you using to acquire the sound?
Well, we'll have free sound on the internet. You can just look it up, and they'll allow you to download free sound that haven't been used, and you can add it to, well, there's just a bit of a wide variety of different sound effects that you can add to.
What equipment might you use for sound?
Tascam.
Oh, Tascam.
We also use the Tascam to gather like sound, like the dog walking through leaves and playing that through just to get a better sound quality, because sometimes traffic is coming by and sometimes it's very loud.
And have you considered an opening screen for the title of your movie? Is there any special effects that you're going to add to that, or is there how are you going to do the credits at the end?
So the intro for our film, I've made that. It's we have the main title screen of the puka, and then it'll like enlarge and it'll go into the writing, and it'll show the river shots, and then it'll go straight into our character walking, and then the credits will just be just a list of our names and our job roles within the film.
Okay. That's it, boys. Thank you. Well done.